Gary Show! Gary Show! When he hits the ball, he fans the score. Gary Show! Gary Show! Gary Show! Gary Show! When he hits the ball, he fans the score. Gary Show! Gary Show!
Hello and welcome to the Villa Talks podcast. Welcome to Alec and Sam. How are you, boys?
All good, mate. Thank you.
Up the Villa. Yeah, well,
Up the
Owens,
Villa.
how are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Good, mate.
Nice Sam as well.
Hello, mate.
Hi, Sam. Hi, Sam as well. That was obviously a sing-song going on currently at the moment. Ian Taylor leading the charge in tribute to Gary Shaw. Tragic news this morning. Sadly, he's passed away. Obviously, we heard about the fall and him being in coma and being gravely ill, and really, really sad and tragic news coming out this morning. A hero for many Villa fans, obviously before our time, but for my dad, for example, massive hero of his, and that song he used to tell me about, and what Gary Shaw meant to him. Obviously, a local lad. Winning the highest accolade in English football and European football. Played for England, obviously, a fantastic player. And someone who's obviously was in love with the club and was always at the club and always about. And by all accounts, everyone said, obviously, what a wonderful, wonderful person he was. So really, really sad news. So it was obviously fitting to start off with that video. This week, back to our normal format again. So we'll be talking about news stories of the week, touching on the Everton game as well. All the stories on and off the pitch from the Everton game. Looking forward to our foray into the Champions League, our debut apparently, according to TNT Sport. So that's a first. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize it was our debut. And then maybe if we get a chance, we'll do a bit of Vault as well. But first, boys, how are we doing? How are we after the weekend's exploits?
Well, I'm a bit nervous now because I'm thinking I'll need a Villa Vault on young boys. I
don't expect that. No, I don't expect that. To be honest, maybe we'll skip the Villa Vault today. Actually, thinking about it, because
might be a tricky one.
Yeah, it might be a tricky one. Plus, my little one's not too well, so I may be called upon. Not too distant future. But yeah. Everton. To be honest, I think news stories of the week we could probably skip as well. To be honest, what we just talked about, obviously how we opened the show is the main news story. We can talk about lots of things around that, but maybe we'll stick to the Everton. Is there anything else you boys want to talk about? Anything Villa related that you want to touch on?
Not really. I think just the Everton match and. We could talk a little bit about the protest that never was, I suppose, but I think it's fitting, really, just to focus it around Gary Shaw in this instance.
Yeah, no, I think so. Yeah. I think that. So we'll do. I'll tell you what, we'll do hero and villain, and I'll do hero and villain this week because obviously Carl's not here. Although obviously it's a lot more fun when Carl's here doing hero and villain of the week. So you'll have to make do with me. And I've got a good hero this week as well. A villain I'm struggling with, so I might need your help here. Maybe in the comments if you can give us your villain of the week as well. That would be good. Because you can help us out. Because I'm struggling with the villain of the week. Even Everton fans who were singing Amadou and Nana the whole game, I thought was pretty good banter, to be honest. So I can't really put them in villain of the week. But here we are. Here's hero and villain of the week. So before I give my hero of the week, any shout outs for hero of the week this week?
Well, I think that from the Everton game, I thought Tielemans was really outstanding, and I think that he's really starting to show why selling Luiz, who obviously a lot of people felt that we were wrong to sell, could end up being a masterstroke. We're playing slightly differently, but I think it's really helping us when teams are sitting back. Last year, I think we struggled a little bit when teams were doing the low block. But I think that some of Tielemans' passing and his ability to get us in behind, even when they're sitting in the low block, is just phenomenal. And the quality he's got is incredible. I can't understand why Leicester went down with him and Maddison in the middle of midfield. It's absolutely mystifying to me because the lad is quality. So for me, I think he was brilliant. I mean, some bloke scored some goal or other. I mean, that was quite good as well. But I think Tielemans was fantastic, and I think he deserves it because he's been consistently good since the start of the season. He's been pulling the strings in midfield, creating loads of chances. We've spurned some of those chances, but I think with him there over the season, we're going to create an awful lot. I think we're going to be absolutely fine without Luiz this season.
Alec, your thoughts on Tielemans as a shout?
Yeah, 100%. Like I think I got a bit excited waxing lyrical about Onana, who I think is a good player, very good. But watching what Yuri did at the weekend against Everton, he is like the rhythm of the team. He's the momentum, and he ticks everything that comes through our midfield, and he creates. It's basically through him. His ability to kind of take 2 touches and not sit on the ball and move it on, and he doesn't. Like for me, at times, Dougie would sit on it. It was a little bit slow, a little bit lethargic, despite being a great player. But Yuri Tielemans is in every little pocket he can get into, and he's slotting it into the right places. And yeah, I just think he creates the whole momentum through our side. And yeah, I think he's surprised me how good he is, and I think it really shone in that Everton game.
Yeah, I mean, I think. It was really interesting to watch. Obviously, we can talk about the defensive frailties in a second, and that notwithstanding, I think the way that we built a play against a low block and something we've historically Aston Villa have always struggled with. Not that we've not always been a possession-based side. Let's be honest, we've had more years playing into counter-attacking transitional type football than what we're seeing now. But when we've had, under Martin O'Neill, for example, when we were doing really well and teams did sit back, we really struggled. And we've seen it in the past with other sides as well. But the methodical build-up play, and then how we would just snap and just out of nothing get that through ball into the number 10s, or find that pass into the number 10s, and then the through ball into Watkins or Rodgers, or Rodgers or Ramsey running into space or running past players, and then that creating opportunities for through balls and passes into the final third into the box. It was really interesting to watch. It was almost like I would say a chess match, where I'm not sure how good Sean Dyche is as a chess player, but it was a bit like that. It was sort of you're trying to move them around into places that they weren't comfortable with, until we managed to expose a gap, and then as you say, Yuri Tielemans was so important. And to some degree, actually, in second half, Ross Barkley as well did help with that. Although he kept it fairly simple, I think.
Yeah,
his ability 100%. On the ball, that was quite a key substitute, wasn't it, Sam? In terms of, we talked and Alex talked about Onana there, and obviously how great he's been. But in that particular game, that was maybe the slight difference, maybe the extra 5% that we needed to change the game.
Yeah, completely. And to be honest, removing him Onana at half-time for tactical reasons, I thought was a bit harsh, because he was caught in possession for the goal, which was not great. I didn't think it was a foul. I think the VAR got that one right. But then that pass that he played through for Dean for Watkins's first was absolutely brilliant. Just opened them right up, perfectly weighted. And I think that for all of Onana's kind of muscular presence in midfield, that pass really, for me, showed that he's not short of quality either. So then to tactically sub him for somebody on the basis of we need someone who's perhaps a bit more. I thought a bit harsh, but actually I thought the way that Barkley looked after the ball for us in the second half was phenomenal, and we were just relentless, weren't we? I think we were just so patient, and I think that I listened to Emery's comments on Radio WM, I think it was, when he basically said, "Look, we don't panic. We knew that we were going to create loads of chances, more than enough to win the game. We just had to stick to our principles." And I thought that, and he praised the crowd for staying with the team and not expecting them to go long and start playing percentages or whatever. And I do think that the Aston Villa, the Villa Park crowd has been educated to an extent, and I think that we're not restless and we don't want the ball lumped up these days, which is good, especially against a team like Everton, where you just know they can't keep tracking runners. Eventually, they'll leave gaps, and you can exploit them, and that's exactly what we did. So yeah, I think Barkley's addition into the squad, and it was funny. On the last pod, we sort of forgot him. Do you remember when we were listing all the midfield options? And then lo and behold, he comes on Saturday and he makes a big difference. And I think him and Tielemans just pulling the strings and just probing worked fantastically well. I also thought, I don't know, were you in the whole upper, Omar?
No. I was in the. I'll come on to that in a second. But I was in lower Trinity.
So what I thought was really interesting in the first half was that Dean was just hugging the touchline and he was in absolute acres. And I was just thinking, just give him the ball. Just give him the ball. But they were. It was almost like they were just waiting for that little, 5 yards more space to open up before they fed him. And it all seemed very careful and very planned. And I just think that the pattern of play and the tactics were exactly right. We should talk about a little bit of defensive frailty, but overall, I think it was an Emery masterclass, and including what was a fantastic tactical sub. And Onana might have been a little bit disappointed, but we get the win, and he's a key part of the squad, as is Ross. And Emery uses the resources, usually really well and gets the result.
Alec, 2 points there. I think Sam's interestingly raised there. First is Onana, and also Unai Emery's management of him. I don't know if you saw the post-match comments, but talking about how it was a tactical sub, but still praising Onana and almost still building him up. Obviously, a masterful bit of PR management there in terms of keeping the player on side. Obviously, he wouldn't have been happy coming off. His £50 million signing. He's playing against his old club. He's made a mistake for the goal, but still somehow he's managed to, throw down platitudes towards his way and still build him up. And the second thing is Luca Dean as well, and how important he was in that build-up play and how good he's been this season as well.
Yeah, I think the way we're playing is so intelligent at the moment, and it's just a reflection of how Unai is and how tactically ahead of the game he is just the way there's so many options for us to attack teams now. The way Dean will get forward one side, kind of Pau will come across, Pau Torres comes across and will fill in. And we're either starting the play with Pau Torres playing like a creative midfielder at times from the back, or Tielemans might just drop in and pick it up a bit deeper. So it's almost like Tielemans and Pau Torres are so strong in those positions. And then, of course, on the other side, despite making an error in the game, I thought he could have done better with McNeil's effort, which I know we'll come on to. But Bogard going forward and just his passing and connecting the play, I thought did really well. So, yeah, look, I think Luca Dean's been one of our most consistent players, and the way he can drop across that ball for Ollie Watkins' header, it'll maybe it'll go under the radar a little bit how great that ball was, because he just dinked it to perfection, didn't he? And he's just got the sweetest left foot. And again, another player that's just improved leaps and bounds under Unai Emery. I saw the interview by Tielemans just in the build up to the Young Boys game, and I mean, we've hardly had Youri Tielemans that long, and he's already saying that Unai's changed him not only as a player, as a man as well. And you just can't believe the effect he's actually having on the players. It's incredible. So what a game, and some of the football we're playing is great to watch, isn't it? Great.
Yeah, it was really, and fascinating to watch Unai as well up close, because obviously I'm normally upper Holt, so sitting near him and watching him, I was on Unai watch throughout the game, and he was getting absolutely crazy at Barkley. I think it was just after, I think it was just after Calvert-Lewin had just gone through and thought he was offside, and Konza came back and obviously nicked it past him. And he was going mad, absolutely mad at Barkley for two things. I think this is me trying to read what he's saying while he's shouting in Spanish and English and going crazy. And he was on the floor me. It was that, and the players. I was watching the players behind him, and they were just sort of hiding, and it was so funny. But Barkley was like a little scared school kid. Honestly, he was like, yeah, no, really sorry, really sorry. But I think he was saying,
Well, again, boss.
yeah, he was saying, because I think, but just before, the gap between Barkley and Tielemans was too wide, and he was telling him, you shouldn't be there, you should be here. And then when they broke through as well, and then played that ball through to Calvert-Lewin as well, he again was in the wrong position as in terms of defensive position, because obviously they've as you see with the attacking build-up, likewise with defensive work, we do sort of sit off the ball a little bit now and again. We do press, but I think he was meant to be in a different position than he was to protect that. McNeil getting in behind and playing that through ball, and yeah, he was getting mad. It was quite interesting.
I think it's the point you made, Ohms, is like when Barkley came on, it was the simplicity, the way he played. It was nothing fancy, and at times there were sideways passes, but it was all very effective. Every pass he made, there were passes where he's putting it wide and putting us into better positions. I had a feeling he'd make a big impact in this game just because of Onana and Tielemans playing in the internationals quite a bit. So yeah, I think he did really well considering he's not really had a chance to bed in playing week in, week out yet. I was impressed. Yeah,
no, really good. And just quickly before we go on to the actual starring moment of the match, Ollie Watkins, obviously, after having on a bit of a goal drought, now he's got 2 and 4 in the Premier League and back to 1 and 2, as he always does. He seems to do, doesn't he? He seems to catch up somehow, and we thought he might do in this game. I think both of you called it actually pre-pod, but great to see him on the score sheet as well.
Yeah, completely. And it was decent. He got up well at the back stick, and it was, as you say, I agree with Alec. It was a really lovely teasing ball, but he got up and he had to compete for it. And I think the deflection doesn't help Pickford, but I think it's probably going to go in anyway. Second goal was really clinical. It's a shocking mistake from Jack Harrison, but he's got to be in the right position. He's got to put it away, which he did well. And I thought that the chance where it was pulled back to him wasn't that easy. Potentially it was offside as well. But just going back to that Calvert-Lewin chance that you talked about with Barkley being in the wrong position and stuff, I think Calvert-Lewin must have thought he was offside because he just seemed like he was running through treacle.
No doubt.
But he was onside because I think Bogard was playing him on. But then the second chance when he hits the bar, for me that's a foul on top.
Yeah, I mean it looked like a foul to me. He just pushed him down.
Yeah, I mean Torres is about to play the ball. He comes in from behind, massive shoulder barge, and I'm thinking that's the most blatant foul I've ever seen. But interestingly, the camera angle from the Doug, it doesn't look like a foul on Match of the Day.
No,
but from where I'm standing, you've got to give that. And then obviously, if that goes in, that's a shocker. But
and VAR probably wouldn't have overturned it. Let's be honest.
Actually, watching the game back, Dominic Calvert-Lewin could have had a couple of yellows in that game. There was a couple of fouls he did that were a bit dirty. On another day, he might have been. It should have been at least on one. I'm not sure if he even got one yellow card, but
he didn't.
There's a couple of suspect fouls he did that he got away with. But yeah.
Let's talk about the winning goal. Obviously, we haven't even touched on yet. We've somehow managed to go 18 minutes into the pod. I have not mentioned John Duran. I was listening to the Claret and Boo pod this morning, and they're saying they're a family friendly show, so they called it a thunder punt. Thunder punt, but we know it's a thunder bastard, don't we?
A thunder custard.
Thunder custard. We can say it. This is the late night ramble. It's a
screamer, absolute
adult show.
Screamer.
Absolute. What? Oh my god! I was in absolute. My mouth was open. A bit like what Emmy was like. Obviously the me now, but.
Do you know what makes me laugh? I was actually listening to Talk Sport earlier, and they were actually Danny Mills and Adrian Durham were on, I think it was, and Adrian Durham started to call out Pickford, saying, "Really, if he's a top class elite keeper, he should have saved it."
Come off it!
You're having an absolute laugh. The guys pinged it. Emi Martinez, the best goalie in the world, stood behind and can see the movement of the ball, and there's no stopping that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you saw Emi said this, didn't he? You see him do this, and
that bend from the. With his left across the ball,
into out, wasn't it? But also the dip as well.
Yeah,
I know Pickford hasn't got the longest arms in the world, but I mean the way it sort of curled away and then dipped in, and at pace as well was just unbelievable. I said, hand up. I said, don't shoot. I
Yeah.
said, don't shoot. And I was just
What-
gobsmacked. There was a collective sort of,
Yeah.
and then a celebration.
what I
that
thought
came
was
afterwards.
interesting. What I thought was interesting was, does Ross Barkley, did he just give that short pass knowing that Duran could pull off a moment of magic? Because it looked like it, because he was so close to him. It was like, right, mate, come on. I've seen you do it on the training ground. Here you go, have it.
Yeah.
And he didn't let us down, did he? It was an absolute scorcher. So
What I thought was really good as well was that Duran actually wins the ball really well. To get the ball to Barkley, he has to be really quick to nip in, get the ball. Yeah, really good. And then obviously he looks for a return. I was there with my nephew and my daughter, and I was just like this, like, what did we just see there? What the hell was that? It was. But the thing is, if you look at the goals, he got the one against Ajax, which I think the bar's probably still shaking. That one against Palace, like when he hits them, they stay hit, don't they? Like he's got unbelievable power in his strike, and it's just really, really exciting to watch, isn't it? Because with him, you just know that if he's got a sense of the spectacular and the audacious. He's powerful, and if we can just keep his attitude right, which it seems to be, and a lot of the players have come out and said that he's come back for pre-season and then into the season with a totally different mindset. Fantastic. I mean, we've got a real talent on our hands.
And I think when you see what he's doing now, and he's coming off the bench scoring winners regularly, you can see why he was a little bit frustrated. You kind of feel for the guy. Yeah, you can't play him because Ollie Watkins had an incredible season last year. But at the same time, if you know you've got that in you, and you're sat on the bench watching the game week in, week out, where all you want to do is play, then it's no surprise that he was close to leaving, or we almost lost him. But like I said before, I think the Villa hierarchy of that's mega. You're talking about a player that's worth a lot of money already now.
Yeah,
like he's
40 million was too cheap.
Yeah,
40 million was too cheap.
Add 50% easily, I'd say. And we talked about it in the summer. We were just all pretty gutted, I would say, that the way it was playing out, because we all, I think we spoke about it, Alec, on our group. We definitely did, Sam, and I said, we were all saying that, he's the best. Can you call him a backup striker? I don't know, I'm not sure, but the best second striker, backup striker, alternative striker, whatever you want to call it. At that age as well, the ability he's got everything to his game, and it's all down to his, and it still is all down to his attitude and application going forward. He's got the right manager, no doubt. He's at the right place. He's at the right level. He's got the right exposure. It's just whether he can continue and be consistent, and he will have bad games. And I think what the fans now, obviously with him scoring the winning goals in 3 games now, I think the fans are back on side. You saw him going around the pitch as a substitute, and all the fans want to speak to John Duran. They want to get an autograph. They want to, say hello to him. He's the favorite. He's all the fans, young and old, absolutely love him, just because he's the maverick. And there's just he's got something about him. He's like a throwback type of player. And we seem to have that. I think it was. I hate to quote Mark Goldbridge on this pod, but he was talking about how Villa are sort of going back to the old days of sort of, blood and guts sort of football with the likes of Rodgers and Duran, and the way that they play, and Watkins and players like that, Ramsey as well. But that combined with obviously the methodical nature of how we build up play, the tactics, the intelligence of Unai, compared to combined with that individual brilliance, that's a recipe for success, isn't it? And really, really, and the fact that we bring in Duran, Matson, another player who played well.
Matson, he looks brilliant coming on, doesn't he? He looks, how we've got him sat on the bench is When would we have seen that in years gone by at Villa, when we got a Champions League finalist sat on the bench that can come on? And I think the great thing about Duran is he's just fearless. You just look at him and he just looks like he's meant to be there, doesn't he? And I saw the moment he walks down the tunnel and they got the camera on him and he just says, "It's normal."
It's
brilliant.
It is normal now, isn't it?
It has become the norm. But fair play to Ollie for getting us to that point where he could come on and actually pull that off as well. So
no, definitely. Those two, that goal before halftime for Ollie was so important, I think, in that game.
As well, and you watch Ollie Watkins come off the pitch, and you watch him around the staff, and it doesn't matter who it is at the club, he's shaking their hands. It could be one of the security, it could be someone, it doesn't matter who it is. He just seems like such a great bloke, and his attitude in and around the club. And I think the moment topped it off was Monchi goes up to him in the tunnel and just said, "I'm happy for you." And you couldn't wish 2 goals on anyone else really in the side.
Yeah.
So,
No, definitely. He needed it, and he's so important to us.
Top lad.
Top lad, and his all-round play as well. So important. Him and Rogers as that front two is terrifying for any defense. So I think they're all good shouts. I'm going to give my own shout. And this is the personal one, and people are going to be sick of me telling this story and talking about it, but I'm going to do it. It's a podcast. I'm going to show him later as well.
Let's hear it.
So I've talked about it on X and Twitter and Instagram as well. And my hero of the week, well, it's 2 really. It's combined. It's Emi Martinez and my son Musa. So you boys both know it. That's why you're laughing. But for those of you who don't, I'm sure all of you know because I can't stop talking about it. But so I wasn't going to go to the Everton game. I'd given my season ticket away. But Musa had been on at me. He's 5, nearly turning 6. And he's really getting into football and really want to go to the Villa match. And he loves Emi Martinez, absolutely obsessed with Emi Martinez. Green is his favourite colour. Emi Martinez is his hero. He watches his videos. He tries to be Emi Martinez, even though he's the smallest kid in his class. And he's a pretty good goalkeeper as well. Can't really play football, but he's a good goalkeeper. And absolutely obsessed with him. So I was like, all right, we'll see if we can get tickets. And I saw there was 2 tickets right next to the dugout, so I got them. And these I'm going to show you these pictures. Sorry for those on audio only who won't be able to see these pictures, but you can go on my X or Instagram and you'll see it on there. But I'm going to tell you the story in pictures without any words. Well, I know I'll give a bit of background noise to it, background commentary to it, and you can see it for yourself. So we went first thing, got to the Villa store, got there early. This is him in his Emi Martinez top from last year at the Villa store, loving life. It was packed. Great store, by the way. Absolutely fantastic what they've done there and extended it. It looks great. Didn't get to go to the Villa fan zone because it was packed and I just couldn't get in. So that was him. I bought him the new away goalkeeper top. There he is in his favourite green colour, long sleeve top. Happy as Larry. And him, his sister and his mum, well, mainly his sister and his mum, spent the morning making this sign for him. The things you do for your kids, I would never be seen dead taking a sign like this to a Villa match, but he wanted to do it, so I was like, let's do it. Let's make it happen. So I didn't have the heart to tell him he's changed his number from 1 to 23, but that was it. He said, please, that sign says, Martinez, please sign my shirt. You're my favourite player, basically. So we did that, and we waited, beginning of the game, warm up. He didn't see us. We saw 3 rows back. We were about to leave just before the end of the game because he was getting a bit tired. It was getting late, and I said, "Oh, we could wait till the end, maybe he'll sign it." And he was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, he will sign it. Yeah." I was like, "Why did I say that? Because I need to manage his expectations. You're a parent, so with kids." Yeah. I said, "Look, he probably won't be able to sign it. He probably won't see us, but just he goes, no, he probably will sign it. He probably will sign it." I was like, all right, okay. I was like, fine. I was like, oh, here we go. Prepare for disappointment. I was like, I'm training him well to be a Villa fan. But anyway, I waited to the end of the match. I walked down to the front row, put him on my shoulder, had the sign up, and all the players had walked through the middle of the pitch. And Emi was one of the last ones walking through the middle of the pitch. I was like, he's not going to see us. I was shouting at Emi, and he sort of was looking, but was not really looking. And the guy next to us, big booming voice, saw the sign, and he was like, Emi. Like that. And Emi just sort of looked over and looked at us sort of twice and went, oh, go on, like that. It's like I don't think he wanted to give his shirt. Maybe he had, he was going to give it to someone else something. But he started walking over, and I was like, "Oh, Musa's coming over. He's going to sign your shirt. Get ready." I was trying to get my pen out of my pocket, and I had a Sharpie and everything all ready. And then halfway down, he starts walking down, and this is him. Starts taking his shirt off, and I just took a picture. I was like, oh my God, I think he's going to give you your shirt. I think he's going to give you his shirt. Sorry. And I was in shock. I didn't even say thank you properly just because I was like, what the hell? And his Musa's face was, honestly, it was unbelievable. And this is him. And this was us. Brilliant. You can see, everyone's saying you look more happy than him, but honestly, I was made up for him because I know how important it is to him and how much he loves him. And he went to sleep with that night as well. So he's got the Martinez top hanging up in his wardrobe at the moment. And that's my story.
Oh, that's so cool, mate.
Holmes, did you not say, my son's got your shirt, I want your shorts and your boots now as well?
Yeah.
No. I felt really, I didn't know what to say, to be honest. I said
That's
thank you.
the,
He gave Musa a fist bump as well, so he was loving
that's a
life. He
special
was,
moment, hey? Especially as it's
oh
like
yeah,
it's his hero. Like
he loves him so
he'll
much.
never
Honestly,
forget that, will he?
never ever forget that. So yeah, I mean, I didn't
What
manage to take a video or anything like that, but so if everyone, I'll put it on X, and if anyone's got a video of that, even if it's a random one, he didn't realize what it was, then please send
That's
it over.
brilliant.
I'd love to show him again.
Has he taken it off yet?
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm gonna get it framed, and
Yeah,
my wife's gonna get like that picture with the frame and the program and get it all sorted for him.
that's special, hey? What a day.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
topped
I
it
said,
off.
I said to him, I said, you're so lucky. You don't realize, honestly, how many kids
Yeah.
would love for that to happen to them, and for it to happen to you. Just appreciate it, and just just
Yeah,
so
that's great.
lucky.
Mate, I
Happy
reckon
for
that's karma for all the absolute dross you've watched at Villa Park over the years.
Yeah. I would never have asked for. I'm trying to think of some shit keepers now. Right. No, Brad Goodson was all right with his shit at the end. Yeah, some of the dross we've seen. No, really, really happy for him, and he's made up. But he's only known it to be amazing, Villa. That's the thing. He's never known it to be crap.
That's pretty special. You need to remind him of the days we've had.
Oh no, yeah.
by.
Oh God,
Yeah,
tell me about it. But there you go. That's my shout for and my story for Hero of the Week. Villain of the Week. I'm really struggling, boys. Honestly, I don't really know who to. Actually, I've got one, and this is going to be controversial. I don't really want to say his name on the pod, but it's
an
individual.
Think I know who you're going to say.
Go on. Who do you think?
I think I know who you're not going to say.
Oh, right. So it's an individual who basically tweeted about Gary Shaw passing away.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Let's not even say his name. He doesn't deserve a.
No, really, really poor show. And to be honest, it shows you the standard of journalism that individual is known for. Really, obviously he hasn't checked with anyone, and I know he's passed away the next day, but that poor family having to see that, and when he hasn't passed away, and they're still having that, maybe the final moments with him. To see that news coming out, it's tough, isn't it? It's just really, really poor form.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's not necessary, is it? But going back to Gary Shaw, I was reading. I'm 39-year-old Villa fan, so I don't really. That was before my time, and I've asked my dad for a few stories, but he was trying to remember, go back through the years. But when you read about how good he was, and what he achieved, and playing alongside with, and how he got young PFA player, and then the following year he was young European Footballer of the Year. And what a player he must have been to watch. And for those Villa fans lucky enough to have watched him, that are now there, possibly watching us in Switzerland, that must be pretty special as well. And just to have those memories. So big shout out to Gary Shaw and all his family, and thanks for everything he did to the Villa, really, for the Villa.
Yeah, no, really, and I think the Bayern Munich game is going to be a really emotional day, isn't it? An emotional evening.
Yeah.
And I think it was Dennis Mortimer. I'm not sure who was. I can't remember the quote. It just come out today, but about how it's going to be really tough for the lads who are going to be together on that evening. So I think there's going to be some sort of honouring of that team on that evening. For Gary Shaw not to be there, for such an important part of that team not to be there. Really.
I heard a couple of good facts, if you don't mind me sharing, was that 81 season when we won the title. It was when we won the league title. It was we had 42 games and played 14, used 14 players throughout the whole season.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
With 38 goals between With and Shaw. Like, what a partnership that must have been, and to have been in the stands back in the day and watch that, pretty special, hey, very special.
Yeah, old school type of pairing, weren't they? With was a bit more direct, I think, as a player, and Gary Shaw was very skillful and very clever in and around him. What a partnership! Would love to have seen that. Old school. What are you going to say? The big man and little man sort of combo?
No, mate. It's just you just said. Sorry, it's just you said in and around him.
What? What's so funny about that?
Nothing.
He's just got a twisted mind, haven't you,
It's just the use of the term in and around. It's it cracks me up. Sorry.
Do you know the other great stat was following the 82 European Cup win. Not one Villa player played a minute in the 82 World Cup. I heard that one today.
Yeah.
How incredible is that? It just
so many players. I mean, Gordon Cowns has is known for being one of the most undercapped players in terms of deserving, and obviously With and Gary Shaw as well into that as well.
On that note, Gabby said some real like kind, impactful words today. Listening to him on TalkSport, and he said about how Gary Shaw actually coached him in the academy as a young player.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't as well until I heard that. And he said a few things because he's obviously out in Switzerland and for the game. And it was, he just said, what a great man, what a great coach, and what an honour it was to actually learn from him as well. So, yeah, great stuff from Gabby there as well.
Yeah, no, great. No, that's that's Hero and Villain of the Week. And yeah, no, again, great memories of Gary Shaw there and talking about nice words. Sam's calmed down a bit, I think, now.
Yeah, no, I hope we chant. I hope we sing his song on the
I'm sure we will.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
game.
Yeah. I was talking about it at work today. Even the West Brom fan, my boss at work, was singing. It was a very famous Gary Shaw song that everyone knew. Not just Villa fans. So obviously a very impactful player.
It'd be great to see Adidas do. I know we've got a lot of kit and a lot of merchandise getting pumped out at the minute for his training kits and whatnot. But how good would it be to see kind of an 81 or 82 kit, a retro kit brought out by Adidas in memory of him? Something like that would be I think it'd be good if the club maybe I don't know could do something like that. Maybe we'd even play in it in a game. I don't know. It'd be decent to see.
Sorry, Alec. Your mic's got a weird feedback. I don't know if you want to disconnect and connect again.
Yeah, go on. Do you want me to get rid of the headphones? Or?
Yeah, it might be a bit crackly. I don't know. Not sure. But anyway, I'll let's move on then. Let's look forward to the young boys game, and it's time for vital statistics.
Vital statistics, ladies. Vital statistics. Our last day. Vital statistics. What will the stats say?
This is good timing, actually, because Alec, this is your bit. So with your mic, hopefully is it working?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we're back. Yeah, perfect. All right. I'm going to hand over to you for BS. Is it BSC Young Boys? Is that it? Is that what the full title is?
I
got that wrong.
I think so. I had a couple of nervous moments.
Bachelors of Science Young Boys.
Is that what it is? Is it?
No.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's made up. No, it's not. It's not.
Oh, gullible, eh?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
A couple of nervous moments typing in Young Boys into their laptop earlier, but I think I'm all good. No one's on to me. I absolutely know bugger all about them, Ohms.
Cheers, Alec. Nice one. Cheers, mate. That's all for vital statistics this week. Thanks, guys.
I looked through their history a bit. They've won quite a lot of league titles, but at the minute they sit bottom of the Swiss league. I think in 12th place. I wondered how long it would take for Adam Lallana.
I'm going to do this every week. Aurelio Gomez, every week, please.
I even had a haircut to try and dodge that one. Cheers, Aurelio. Good one, pal. I look forward to it next week as well.
That and 27-0 is going to be our two things.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, that's the new 27-0. Sorry.
These guys are minnows, aren't they? I mean, the only advantage I reckon they've got is playing on an AstroTurf, but I don't think that's going to serve them too well when we've trained on it the day before or the days leading up to it. So they are minnows, but it's going to be like a cup final for them, isn't it? Villa coming to town. So who knows? But yeah, we should really give them a drubbing, shouldn't we? But we said that going into the Everton game the other day, and that was a test. So you never know. But yeah, hopefully we see some goals and an unbelievable atmosphere out there.
Yeah, I mean, I did say Everton. Let's not get too excited because they can be dangerous. So just FYI. But Sam, Young Boys. I was watching a video about them, and sounds awful, doesn't it? I can't get Young Boys. I was watching a video about that. It's too easy, isn't it? It's too easy. Anyway, I was watching a preview video and or one of their clips of their game. Sorry, and it was mentioned that how good they were in the box because they were quite a tall team. And that immediately put the fear of death in me, given how we've defended so far this season, how we defended for probably since Kamara's been out of the team. I mean, are you worried about them?
I'm not really worried about them, to be honest. I think the main question for me is just whether or not he does a little bit of squad rotation. Can we expect to see Maatsen start? I think Duran might well start. We've got a tough league game against Wolves, Derby, so I think you could say to Watkins, John Duran's earned a start. He's going to start in this, and you're back in for the league, or something along those lines. Maybe Barkley's played himself into contention, although if they're a big side and they want a set piece, maybe Onana will keep his place. So I just think it's a question of trying to keep the squad ticking over and keeping everyone fit, giving everyone minutes. But I would expect to go there and win. I think getting a good start, getting 3 points on the board in this new format, really important. Obviously, Bayern's going to be a really, really hard game. We can't defend like we did against Everton against them, because we'll be absolutely murdered. So yeah, I think get 3 points, maybe get a few minutes on the board for some of the players that haven't played too much. Probably give Duran a start. I don't see any other outcome than a Villa win, to be honest.
And it seems like young boys have got a few injury problems as well. Going into the season, and obviously I think they're sitting bottom of their league, aren't they?
Right.
Yeah.
Correct. Well, they were bottom of the league anyway, so not a great start. And they've obviously taken the scenic route to the Champions League as well to get there. So definitely we're favourites, and definitely we've got to make the most of it, as Sam says. Just reading some. So this was something I was looking at earlier. So I'll read it verbatim. But Facinet Conte, who's the manager, Facinet Conte, one of their players, will not play again this season. They've recovered from long-term injury. In addition, Abdou Conte, Patrick Pfeiffer, Sadie Janko, Loris Benito, and Lucas Lacomi are on the sidelines. That's 6 players that are out for young boys. So obviously lots of injury problems straight away in this season. So, I mean, I don't know too much about them. I'm not going to pretend to know too much about them. But the fact that they've got those injuries. Are
they going to put a youth? They're going to play some youth. We're going to get the young boys then, are we?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, well done, mate.
If we're playing, so I think we've really got to expect to go and turn them over.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we've got their striker Gabulu is supposed to be pretty decent, and we saw with the Conference League as well. You can't really write anyone off. The likes of Olympiacos and the strikers they had. I've got his name now, but he tore us a new one in both games, really, didn't he? And you just don't know. Especially as Alex says, playing on AstroTurf is a bit of an equaliser, isn't it? Albeit with training today. The thing I worry about is injuries. Obviously, playing on AstroTurf, it's not ideal for professional football. Playing at that pace, at that level, you worry about the knees and ankles and things like that as well on that kind of pitch.
Yeah, I think we'll be well prepared, won't we? I think in a game like this, I always like to think we can go and score a few goals first half, and then just rotate players and just make sure people are rested and wrapped in cotton wool for the Wolves game. So get an early lead, smash some goals, and get the key players off, because we want to be as up for that Wolves game as we can as possible with a fit team, fit starting 11, don't we? So
and that'd be a tough game, that Wolves game as well. They've got a big early striker now, haven't they, who's going to be a handful, which is something we obviously struggle with the likes, Konza and Pau Torres. Excellent, good defenders, excellent on the ball. Konza, great 1v1 defender, but when it comes against physical, as you saw with Calvert-Lewin, up against a physical presence, and they do struggle a little bit. I do wonder if, not to preview that Wolves game just yet, but I do wonder if Diego Carlos comes back in, and that also makes me think maybe he'll play this game as well, just as to get him up to speed.
It's a good shout, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, who'd you drop though? Would you give Konza or Power the rest?
I'd probably give Konza a rest, because I didn't think he looked that fit against Everton. He definitely wasn't running at full speed like he normally does. So I'd probably give him. Plus, he's not 100% fit. Playing on AstroTurf, I just wouldn't take the risk probably.
Yeah. Well, would you be tempted to play Bogard in at centre half and then bring Costa in at right back, or you wouldn't even risk?
I'd probably play Costa, Carlos, Pau, and Maatsen probably as the back four. And then maybe play the same midfield, Onana and Tielemans, just for a bit of a consistency. Bailey, I mean, he's obviously trained. I don't know if you saw, he's trained with the first team, so he looks fit. Whether you risk him as someone who has a history of hammies and twisted knees and things like that, would you play him in that? I'd definitely play Martinez. I wouldn't risk playing anyone else.
Yeah.
And I probably would play Duran and Rodgers and Ramsey. So I think it'll be McGinn, Tielemans, Onana, Ramsey, Rodgers, and one of Watkins, Duran. I think it's just the back four that maybe you try and change up a little bit.
I thought that McGinn on Saturday, I thought he had a good game. I think he's had a really smashing start to the season, and he's one of my favourites. But with him on the right, it was a bit one-dimensional every time. He's got to check. He's got to check back. He's got to check back. It was just too predictable, I thought.
We missed Bailey definitely in that game.
Yeah. He did a job for the team, and he was effective. But I just thought, you need somebody that can go either way, playing in that wing position. And also, I don't know, but is Bogard actually left-footed?
Right-footed.
Oh, he was right-footed, yeah. So I think that's the problem. We were talking about, could Maatsen not play right-back? Yeah. And I guess the problem would be if you've got Maatsen and McGinn, both kind of left-footed, right-sided players, it just wouldn't work. But
I'd definitely be playing Costa as right-back in this game, I think. I think he deserved a chance. I'm not... As well as Bogard's done it in parts of both games he's played, I'm still not 100% convinced on him. I think he still has that little nervousness in terms of not knowing what to do with the ball. And also he's been muscled a few times. He's obviously still a grown lad. And I know he's done well. I'm not knocking him. It's a difficult one to come into, but I do think he exposes a little bit there. And I'm not saying Costa's the answers to that, because obviously he's a young lad himself, 18 years old, and he has been a bit naive tactically as well, with balls going behind him. But at the moment, we need cash back, and it's a problem area for us. So I think you've got to give Costa a chance.
I think that McNeil goal, looking at that one again, obviously Onana's at fault for losing the ball in a poor area to start with. But then I thought Bogard's reaction was pretty terrible to actually...
Didn't really run back, did he?
He didn't even really put a foot out to try and stop McNeil, and he shouldn't even have a shot from there, really. And I thought Konsa, Onana, and Bogard together, were all kind of collectively at fault for that goal. I thought it was pretty poor, because I think Konsa gave the ball to Onana in the first place, and I didn't think it was the best pass.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, I think 360 World 20 Fund there says about him being fouled. I'm not to go back on the Everton game, but I thought he did kick his ankle, but in this season, with the way they are with VAR, they were just never going to overturn it. So I think he could have done better, Onana. And it is. I think it is a part of his game that he does struggle with in terms of receiving the ball in tight areas. He's not known for manoeuvring the ball like a Barkley or a Tielemans. I think it's not that. Hence why we probably changed it at half time, but he's got other attributes that we do need and that are important to us.
I don't know if you boys saw just watched the free kick again that Calvert-Lewin scored, but that was some clever play by Everton for that free kick, because if you watch Tarkowski, he gets hold of Tielemans and he pushes him back further and further back, which plays him onside, and that's a lesson to us there, a massive lesson.
Austin McPhee type of
Yeah, I mean, it was smart. It was
a stupid foul to give away. What on earth were they doing, giving that foul away there? It was almost as bad as the one Jadon gave away towards the end of the game.
What was he doing? What was he doing? I nearly gave him Villain of the Week for that, because I was like, "What are you doing?"
That was very bad.
Towards the end of the game, Ashley Young's facing his own goal.
Yeah,
going up for a header, and he's gone in with his back to him and just trodden all over him. And giving him a really dangerous free kick at a dangerous time, and I was just like,
brainless.
Yeah,
I think Emmy, you could see Emmy giving him both barrels for that.
Yeah. All right, let's go to our predictions then, Sam. What to finish off? What were you thinking about the young boys game?
I'm going to be less bullish than I was against Everton, primarily because I think we'll probably rotate a bit. But I think we'll come away with a 2-0 win.
2-0 win, Alec.
Yeah, I think I'm thinking 3 or 4. I think we'll beat them 3. I'll go 4-0. I reckon we'll give them a C2.
Bullish. I 360 World 20 Fund says 2-1 Villa. I'm going to go for 2-1 Villa. I'll take that right now as well. The important thing is, in my head, I think we need to get to 12 points to have a chance of being in the playoffs in a good position. So I think, yeah, it's difficult because we don't know. Herrera Gomez says it's impossible to call, no reference. I agree. It's really difficult because we don't know what team they've got. But given they've got injuries, given they haven't started the season well, given obviously they're in a far inferior league, I think I'm going to go for 2-1 as a cautionary prediction. Great, thanks, boys. I think that's it for this week. Thank you for coming on. I wasn't going to do a pod tonight, but wanted to do it obviously with the news of Gary Shaw, and obviously before our Champions League foray and debut in inverted commas. I get it. I know what they're saying. Obviously, the Champions League is actually TNT Sports should be Villain of the Week, shouldn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But I get what they're saying because obviously Champions League is a new format, but this is a new format this season, isn't it? With the league as it is. So does that mean that everyone's having their debut or someone else put it on X, I saw? So anyway,
I think I was just going to say, I think the conference last season is going to help us so much this season as well. Just preparation for what it's all about, like
100%.
Frequency of games.
I think the pundits are forgetting that as well. We've had to do. I know it's a different level of opposition, but
probably isn't on tomorrow. In fact,
no, true. But in terms of the fitness and the rest period, I think that's the most important thing rather than the level of opposition. We've obviously got better players now, I think, as well, and a better squad. But yeah, thank you for your time. Thank you for all watching and listening. I managed to sort out the Twitter stream this time as well. I've had to pay Elon Musk £11.
Oh no!
I've ended up paying him twice, by the way, because I accidentally did it on my protected personal account and Villa Talks, the podcast account as well. So
he'll probably spend it on space cakes anyway. So
yeah. Tweeting about Donald Trump. Yeah. But yeah, no, thank you for listening and for watching. Please subscribe if you're on YouTube and like the video. Leave a comment. If you're on Spotify or another audio platform, Apple Podcasts, wherever it is, please subscribe, follow, whatever it is on there as well. And we'll try and grow the channel back up. Obviously, we did, as I mentioned last week, we did really well in the early stages, and had some great guests and managed to get likes of Dwight York, etc. on, and did really well. And we're going to try and get the channel back up to that level again in terms of consistency, output. And talk about interesting things and interesting topics, and hopefully, I know there's lots of podcasts out there, and we all pretty much say the same things, let's be honest, but hopefully you enjoy this one. And all that's left to say for me is up the Villa, rest in peace, Gary Shaw.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Give him the ball.